Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Microeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of feedback on the chapters 1 and 2 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about our next set of chapter activities, which are due the middle of next week. Okay. So first thing is the Introduce Yourself discussion that we did last week, where everybody kind of introduced themselves to the class. I thought that went very well. I really enjoyed meeting everyone and learning a little bit more about each of you. So I really enjoyed that. The chapters 1 and 2 activities, like I said, I did finish grading those this morning. Go ahead and look at your grades for those activities as soon as you can. Let me know if you have any questions at all. If I did have to count any points off, I tried to be very specific on why and exactly what I was looking for in an answer. But if you have questions after reading the grading comments, just let me know and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the chapters 1 and 2 assignment. And I really appreciate the time and effort and hard work that most of you are putting in to the activities for this class. So keep up the good work on that. The chapters 1 and 2 discussion that we had that dealt with the prevalence of vending machines in Japan, the extensive use of vending machines to sell goods in Japan. I thought that went very well. Of course, they use vending machines as a way to kind of solve or help solve their labor shortage problem that they have in that country. And of course, there are some other reasons why vending machines are so popular, and we talked about those. And like I said, I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. Hopefully you enjoyed that as well, that discussion. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. But I thought most of you did extremely well on that on the discussion that we have. The chapters 1 and 2 objective test, most of you did well on that. Just as a reminder, you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date. So if you don't do well the first time, you can always do it again and just keep doing it, and until you make a grade that you're happy with. And your highest grade on those is recorded. So if you have 3 attempts, whatever your highest grade is of those 3 will be automatically recorded. So just let me know if you have questions about that. There were a couple of you that did not submit the chapters 1 and 2 activities for some reason. If you're having problems getting started in the course or getting your textbook or anything like that, just let me know. And I'll try to help you out as best I can. Hopefully those of you that were having those problems with this first set of activities will get back on track for the next set of activities. And our next set of activities, by the way, are due Wednesday, September 3rd. So if we look on the activities page in my Ozarka, right now we're on the middle portion of week 2. And we've got nothing else due this week, but we do have our next set of activities for chapters 3 and 4 due by Wednesday, September 3rd, which is Wednesday of next week. I would not wait until next week to get started on those activities. Go ahead and get started on it now, and that way if you want your Labor Day weekend free, you can do that as long as you kind of at least get a good head start on the activities for this class before the weekend. And that way you're not trying to rush around after the Labor Day weekend trying to get everything ready and turned in. All right? Now, so you've got the chapters 3 and 4 assignment, test, and discussion all due by Wednesday, September 3rd. Chapter 3 covers economic decision makers, including households, firms, government, and the rest of the world. And basically, in Chapter 3, we're going to discuss what motivates our decisions, our economic decisions, as far as each one of those types of decision makers And we saw each one of those types of decision makers on the circular flow model that we learned about in chapters 1 and 2. You know, how resources move throughout those four decision-making groups within the economy. All right? So you'll learn more about the actual decision makers in chapter 3. And then in chapter 4, this is one of the most important chapters that we'll actually learn about in this course because it deals with things that we will need to know about in later chapters when we're talking about more complex economic models. So in chapter 4, it deals with demand, supply, and markets. Okay? And so these basic concepts are kind of the groundwork for a lot of the things that we'll look at later on in the semester. All right? For example, when we look at utility, we look at decision making within the firm as far as how much to produce and so forth. All of that is based on the basic economic models of supply and demand. Okay, and so it's critical to understand the basic economic models before we move on to more complicated or complex economic models. All right. So just take your time on these chapters 3 and 4 activities. Make sure you carefully read through the resources and watch the videos. And let me know if you have any questions at all. Again, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about anything. But just be working on those. And have a good Labor Day weekend. And I will talk to you again sometime next week. Thank you.